Right, hello everyone. This is Dana. This is vlog 2 for Unit 2 of Secondary General Music Practices, Strategies for All Music Learners. So jumping into it, new and interesting information. I'm going to start with Dr. Gulish's lecture. So regarding these approaches and methods that Dr. Gulish talked about, not much of it was necessarily new information to me. A lot of my undergrad work focused on different types of informal learning approaches and strategies. I remember, especially in MTL, music teaching and learning, we talked a lot about constructivism. We talked about understanding by design and backwards learning. A lot of project-based learning, and that's also been a big buzzword in my school within the past couple of years, is project-based learning. So nothing too new, but I do try to use a lot of these practices and methods and approaches in my own teaching. She talked about this end goal and always making sure that she posed the question, do your methods align with your goals? And it's not just, for me anyways, it's not just the end goal of that lesson or that unit, but it goes back to my personal philosophy on teaching and music education, that we're not teaching just for this lesson or this unit, but I'm teaching for them to be lifelong learners of music, listeners of music, performers and lovers of music. So that's something that I do try to think about in all of my lesson plannings and unit plannings, etc. So musical futures. Musical futures is super cool. I think that it is an awesome idea. I love that it's, all the research and stuff is based on pop music. And I'm one of those people that I listen to rock and roll a lot, and I know a lot of guitar players and I know a lot about it, but can't play the guitar. I'm not great at piano. My drum set skills are below average. So doing this would be awesome. It's something that if I were in a general music class in middle school, I would be all about this. However, musical futures also really scares me. So the first thing that scares me is, I've talked about this before, but my 7th grade general music classroom is a plain old classroom. It's not a music room. It's literally just like a regular tiny little classroom. I don't even have desks. I have a couple of folding chairs and I have a smart board, and that's about it. I have no instruments, no guitars, ukuleles, keyboards, drums, Orff instruments, nothing. So I also, I know there was the clip of, I think it was in Dr. Gulish's lecture, the clip of them playing Don't Stop Believin' on the keyboards on their phones. A lot of my students don't have phones. I don't have access to computers, and if I go to a computer lab, so many sites are blocked, we can't watch YouTube videos or anything like that. And I have no iPads, so figuring out how to make musical futures work in my classroom at the moment, it's going to take a lot of creative thinking, a lot of ingenuity. If anybody has any ideas for me, please feel free to comment in the comment section on this discussion board. The lack of structuring also scares me a little bit too. I think a lot of musicians, am a total perfectionist. And I think that's hard for us. It's hard for us to let go and let students do something wrong, or at least for me anyways. I don't know. I might not be speaking for the entire population of musicians or people that are in this class, but it's hard for me to let students do something wrong and not at least help them fix it. I don't want to correct them and say, this is what you're doing wrong, this is how you need to do it, but say, why don't you try doing this, trying to figure out a different way for them to fix themselves, basically. So I think that doing musical futures in a middle school classroom would take quite a bit of scaffolding, I guess. I don't want to say structuring, because again, the whole point is for them to learn on their own and teach each other and help each other. But I definitely feel like it would be difficult at first because my students are used to a lot of structuring. They're used to being given steps, and it's not just in my teaching, it's in, their elementary school, it's in the other classrooms. So I feel like this approach where you give them the whole big idea and have them break it down would be a little bit daunting for them. So I guess, I don't know if it would be against, the approach of musical futures to break it down more, but I almost feel like I would have to in order for this program to work. I don't know. I'm excited to see what you all say about it and how you're going to implement it or how you think you could implement it in your classrooms. I also look forward to hopefully having some ideas for me. So I think that is it. Thank you for watching. Look forward to chatting with y'all.